we need to write each fraction as a decimal. So the way to do this is to remember that some fractions have decimal place values, and we can find equivalent fractions to those fractions. So remember, after the decimal point, we have tenths and then hundredths. So first, we need to write 4/5 as a decimal, but 10 is in the 5 times table, so we can find an equivalent fraction to 4/5 with a denominator of 10, because when we know how many tenths 4/5 is equivalent to, we'll be able to write it as a decimal because we know that the tenths digit is the first digit after the decimal point. Now we use multiplication to find equivalent fractions. 5 times 2 is 10, so we do the same to the numerator. 4 times 2 is 8, so 4/5 is equivalent or the same size as 8 tenths. And we write 8 tenths as 0.8, so with the 8 being the first digit after the decimal point because that's our tenths column. Now we have 2 quarters. Now 10 isn't in the 4 times table, but 100 is a multiple of 4, and we know that the second digit after the decimal point is the hundredths digit, so because hundredths have a place value, we can find an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. Now 4 times 25 is 100, and what we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator as well, and 2 times 25 is 50. So 2 quarters is equivalent to 50 hundredths. So we can write that as 0.50. So the denominator of 100 tells us that we write the 50 with 2 digits after the decimal point, so the 5 gets shifted over. But 0.50 is just the same as 0.5 because we don't need zeros on the end of decimals. The other way to work out 2 quarters is first to simplify it. So 2 quarters is the same as 1/2, and then we could have found that 1/2 is the same as 5 tenths, so that's 0.5. Now we have 7 over 25. 100 is a multiple of 25 because 25 times 4 is 100. So if we do the same to the numerator, 7 times 4 is 28. So that's 0.28 because the second digit after the decimal point is the hundredths digit, and that denominator of 100 tells us that we can't go past the hundredths place value. So this 2 gets shifted over to the tenths. Finally, we have 9/50ths. 50 times 2 is 100, and 9 times 2 is 18. So as a decimal, that's 0.18 because the 1 gets shifted over into the tenths. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that was helpful. If you're a teacher or a parent, then please subscribe or go to keystage2maths.com to download resources for this lesson and many more. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.